Rachel. Rachel, you don't know who I'm about to talk to, or maybe you do, but she's phenomenal. So I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm just starting a few minutes early just to, so I can introduce who we're going to be speaking to and just get myself ready to talk to her, because you never quite know how it's going to go. If you've got any questions for her, Kyra is an incredible woman. I was lucky enough to go to Kyra's resort through Wellbeing. Hello, lovely. I miss you. I was lucky enough to go to Kyra's resort through Wellbeing Escapes, who are absolutely brilliant. If you don't know Stella, you need to go to Stella's site. And Stella has an independent wellbeing company that organise wellbeing retreats, and they are just brilliant. So please head over to Stella and see what she has to offer. So yeah, I met Kyra through Stella. I stayed in the Dominican Republic at her resort. I think it was last May, this time last year, or it could have been the year before. My mind's gone a bit. Do you find that now that you're at home, your mind is a bit, what day of the week is it? Have I had lunch yet? It's all a bit crazy. Whenever it was, it left an imprint on my mind, because actually in a big part because of Kyra, because they're on the ocean, because there is lush green everywhere, and because you're kind of left to, there's no right or wrong. You can do whatever you like. You go to, I was going to do Panchkarma, and then I realised I wasn't really in the mood for anything that hardcore. Hello, lovely Doris. Nice to see you. I wasn't in the mood for anything that hardcore, and I'm really glad I chose Kyra's retreat, because some days I needed to work and check my emails, and that was not frowned upon. And some days I didn't want to talk to anybody and I wanted to be on my own. Hello, Erin. I hope your hair's still looking lovely. And all of that was okay with Kyra, which was a delight. And she's connecting with us from the Dominican Republic, and she's never done this before. So she's a little bit, hi, Stella. Stella, I've just been talking about you. Stella's just joined us, and Stella is the owner of Wellbeing Escapes. Another woman I really should get on here, because Stella started Wellbeing Escapes way before people were talking about well-being. She was actually also quite brave to even choose the name, because it was at a time when people just weren't talking about it. And hello, lovely Stella. And but she followed her gut. She left her career to start this company and really champion what it means to come back from a holiday feeling better than you left, lighter of mind and body, and refreshed. That's what we go away for. So Stella's the one who introduced me to Kyra. Kyra is this incredible soul who, like Stella, followed her passion and really went against everything that she had ever known to do something that's quite tough. But she's done it, and it's just incredible. What can I tell you? Hopefully she'll join us soon. And if you have any questions for her, how are you all feeling, by the way? How's everyone feeling? Are we enjoying this? Are we enjoying this time? Are we finding it difficult? Hello, darling. If you're anything like me, some days you're loving it. You're enjoying the pace, and some days you're suddenly anxious out of nowhere and you don't know what to do. And that's just the way it ebbs and flows at the moment, and you have to just go with it. The biggest thing I find helps, and any of you that have joined from the wellness industry will probably agree, is to breathe into it. Just breathe into it. And at the moment, it is all about our lungs and breathing. And so that is super helpful, to breathe and to say, it's okay. Hi, Emily. Ups and downs, exactly. It's okay not to be okay. And then when you're that little bit better, the minute you're that little bit better, start to count your blessings. And there are too numerous to mention. I mean, you can go into the minutest detail of, hot water to drink on tap. I mean, that's pretty cool. A lot of people don't have that. The time to really assess what you want to do with your life. You could, there's just countless. So just kind of, soon as you can, do that. And yeah, it is a really good time to assess. I've been feeling really, really good about our work and how this has given me a time to refine everything we do and really be true to everything we do, and not not be afraid of following our gut. You know, we talk about the gut, and not being afraid to follow what our gut is telling us to do. Yeah, please ask questions, because I actually said to Kyra, you come on a few minutes after to give me a chance to introduce you, not realizing that I was coming on even before that. Plus, she's told me that her signal there can be quite dodgy. So if her signal's really dodgy, you'll just be rambling with me for a while, but hopefully it won't be. Thank you for waving. It's really lovely to see you here. And also tell us what you're enjoying when we're doing these lives now, who you'd like to see. Have you enjoyed the meditation? Have you enjoyed the yoga? Bitu's breathing techniques seem quite popular, so he'll be doing that specifically with you. And then over the weekend, we sit here, Bitu and I, with a drink, and we talk to you about whatever. And I really enjoy that, because it gets us a chance to really connect with you on a personal level. You know, no filter, no... Well, I hope we're always like that, but I find when I'm sat with Bitu, I'm even more like that. I have a great time for all our... I feel great. I feel it's a great time for all our nervous systems. I agree with you. It is a great time for that. It's a great time for just strengthening everything, really, isn't it? Yeah, whatever we're feeling, just go with it. Hello, Doctor. To rebalance, I agree. It's a time to rebalance. But, you know, we're lucky if we can do that. This is a good thing at this time. I love the live sessions. Thank you so much. We've only just started them not that long ago, but I'm also beginning to enjoy them a great deal. But I feel a real sense of responsibility that we should give you value for your time here. And me rambling is not the best value. I love joining Instagram calls, Anita. I really liked hearing about the book recommendations. Oh, well, I'll do that again sometime, for sure. I'm still really enjoying reading the one I recommended to you. It's not here, so I can't show it to you, but I will do that again, because books are my savior, actually. You know, to retreat into a good book, to... just kind of connect is really helpful. Stella, you're on here. You know, maybe what you could do is just message Kyra and check that she's okay, that she's managing to connect, because she's never done this before, bless her, so she might be a bit confused by the whole thing. So maybe you just ask her if she's doing okay. Hello, thank you for waving. I'm feeling terrible because my guest is not here yet, and you must be getting bored of me. Thank you, Stella. Thank you. That's really helpful. And Rachel, I can't tell you how lovely it is to see you here if you're still here. That's my dog. He doesn't shed, but he's shedding. We're not brushing him enough. He's just right here under me, and yeah, he's I love having him here. My God, he never. I really do need to brush him. What can I tell you while we're waiting? I'll tell you what, let me give you a tip of some kind. I'll give you something that might prove helpful. Obviously, you all drink. Emily, really interested in hearing about Kyra's retreat. I've never been. It's just, I'm here. Thank you, Rachel. I really, really miss you. I really do. I miss everybody there. I miss what we're doing. And but I know we're all going to come back stronger, Rachel. We're all going to have a bit of a dip and have to brace ourselves, and then we are going to come back stronger, because we're really going to focus in on what is important for us to do for other people and for ourselves as well. There's no going back, and it's no bad thing as long as not too many jobs are lost. That's what I worry about. Hearing about BA yesterday, that's the kind of thing that concerns me, but we just have to just spread positive energy. Kyra's retreat is wonderful. It's an eco retreat, Emily, and they grow everything themselves. I want Kyra to tell the story, but she arrived at the retreat as a little baby. Her father was a pro golf player, and he was invited to the Dominican Republic to play golf. And then they decided to settle there over the holidays, and she would go there every summer during the holidays. And she felt such a pull to this place that she vowed to go back as an adult, as did her husband. And they left behind London life and an easier life, really, a much easier life, to literally from scratch build this retreat. And they're building it literally brick by brick, and they're inviting people to actually own part of the retreat. So you can go there. You can stay in a lovely tent there, right by the ocean, and you can buy that tent so that you can come and use it whenever you like. Obviously not just the tent. I mean, you buy that, that area of land, but the land is for sharing. So you buy it so you can come whenever you like. And by buying it, you're also allowing Kyra to grow there and for the community to grow there. And it is just the most phenomenal thing. I just want her to describe it because it's hard to really put into words what she does there and what she's achieved. 10 years ago, there was nothing there. And now there's... they're building a separate kitchen. They've regenerated all the land. I mean, it's really verdant now. It is just the most exceptional. I've never been anywhere like it. And if you want more like that, you have to go to Kyra's. You have to go to Stella's site, Wellbeing Escapes, and you'll find more recommendations like that. Because Stella's really good at that. She'll really tell you what is right for you, and she did that for me, and she was spot on. Kyra is an Ayurvedic doctor. She's a naturopath. She is a yoga teacher, best yoga teacher I have ever. I mean, I've experienced some amazing yoga teachers, but Kyra is on another level. Doris, Stella, I hope Rosemary and I. Oh, you have to go there, Doris. You have to go there. As much for the ocean and the land as for Kyra and her dear family. And the weird thing about going to her retreat is that I wanted to come back feeling lighter. I ate so much. Simon, her husband, would make me coffee every morning, which was a delight that I didn't have to give that up. And I came back and I'd lost 5 pounds in a week. And my skin was glowing and I felt incredible. But I was eating as much as I wanted because it's natural food, because it's healthy, vibrant, seasonal, organic, local food. And actually we say in Ayurveda that's the most important thing, not worrying about your dosha so much, but more being concerned about, is this food going to nourish me? And also being concerned about, how do I feel when I'm eating the food? I think that's a really key thing, to sit down to eat and to give thanks for the food and appreciate it. And, oh, you're all joining and I still don't have Stella here. I still don't have Kyra here and I'm feeling so bad. Stella, maybe if Kyra doesn't turn up, maybe you can join me. You can ask to join live and you can tell us about Wellbeing Escapes. You might both be able to join me. I'm not that technical to know if that's possible. But because it could be that Kyra just can't get connection. She was saying that happens sometimes. And if that's the case, Stella, you can go onto our live and ask to join me, and you can tell us about Wellbeing Escapes and your experience, because that is equally inspiring and a bit of a surprise. I've sent her a message. Yeah, Stella, it could be that they just can't join because of their signal. Why don't you join us? Why don't you have me invite you to join the live? Simon just responded. Sorry, everyone. Yeah, it just may be that they're not getting signal. So if that's the case, I'm going to ask Stella to join us because she's a phenomenal woman. I met Stella at Space NK not long after I joined. We were both on a panel there, and she felt like a sister. And Simon just responded, sorry guys, it won't be long. And if Simon cannot join, Stella, you're joining me. Thank you for waving and being so patient. It must be like watching paint dry. I don't know what to do. Do you know, if I had my book here, I could read you an extract from my book because I love it so, so much. I could shout to my teenage son, but would he listen? Or I could run upstairs and get it. Would my teenage son listen? I'd have to really shout loud because he's on the 3rd floor. Hello, darling. How are you? Nice to see you again. Shall I try shouting at him? Marnie! I'm really not shouting. He's not going to hear that. Give me a couple of minutes to see if they join and for me to comb my hair. Bless you. Yeah, comb your hair. Put on some sunglasses if you want, darling. It's fine to wait. You're so, so, so sweet. Thank you. Shall I run and get my book and read you an extract from my book? Because it is so brilliant. I can't tell you. What's your book about? It's about the Vedanta philosophies. Basically, we do talk a lot about doshas in Ayurveda, but what is much more important is our dosha is our constitution, and the other thing we talk about is the gunas, and to me they are much more important. It's kind of about how you go about your business, how you tread in this life. So you'd have heard the saying sattvic, maybe sattvic people. We talk about a sattvic diet. Greetings from Costa Rica. So lovely to see you again. I hope it's all well there. So we talk about sattvic diet. Sattvic is that seasonal, local, organic food, because that's the most nourishing food. But it's not just about the food. It's about a sattvic attitude. It's about your behavior. So people who are sattvic people are very in the flow. They're very present. They're very still and present, but it means they actually get more done. I would describe Bittu as a sattvic person. They do more by being present and really not thinking too far into the future. They're very, very strong in their connection to source, and so they don't really fear very much. And if there is that moment of fear, they know that, oh, this is a moment of fear. Okay, what I need to do now, as I was saying before, is breathe into it. So everything they do in a considered manner. I'll give you an example. Yesterday I asked Bittu to cut, we bought some bread from Gales, and if it's left out, I might eat too much of it, which I don't need. And it gets hard very quickly because it's fresh. So I asked Bittu, would he cut it, because he's much more patient. Would he cut it and put it in the freezer? Not only did he cut it, but he put bits of paper between every slice, so that I could just take out the one slice and it wouldn't be attached to the next slice. Now that is patience. That's doing something and doing it well. That's a very sattvic way to be. So you do that in your career, you do that in the way you lead your life at home, you do that in the way you cook. My father would always say he could tell when I had cooked in a sattvic fashion because the food tasted better. And he is right. When I'm present to cooking, my food always tastes better. I mean, we would all agree with that. Then you have a ragistic energy. Now that we need that energy because it's what gets things done. It's when somebody like Rachel might say, Anita, I need the cost per treatment by tomorrow, and if it's not ready, I'll know that part in me will kick in and get it done. And if something needs doing and we need to be agile because of the way business is now, then that part of me gets things done. And that part of any of us gets things done. It's passion, it's power, it's drive, it's the ability to make things happen, to make things manifest. But if you overdo that quality, it gets things done at the detriment of your personal health. And that's not good for any of us. It can lead you into overdrive, which can lead you eventually into anxiety and just not being able to cope, fatigue, because you've just overdone it. So you have to really watch that quality and ask yourself, what do I bring that quality to? Like, Kyra should join soon. Oh, I kind of want you to join as well, Stella. Maybe you'll do that next time. I hope so. So when you, when you're eating, to eat in a sattvic way is to have nothing around you that is a distraction. No phone, no magazine, not even the radio, not even listening to a podcast. It's literally chewing your food and mindfully chewing your food and being aware of every taste sensation and just everything about that whole experience. And ragistic people can kind of rush their food, and that does them no good. We can get together next time. I sincerely hope so, Stella. I would love that. And then you have the tamasic energy. And that energy is one that is about inertia. And we need that energy because we couldn't sleep without it. A rock will have that energy. It's still energy. It's in nature, but it's still. And we need that stillness to be able to have the energy to bring, to bring the best to everything we do. But too much of that energy means there's real lethargy, real procrastination. So you might read all the books in the world about how to be fit and strong and healthy, but really all you'll do is read, and you won't actually bring that energy to anything you do because you're just too lethargic. So the lethargic energy is the lowest of the three energies. the mid energy is a really positive one if it doesn't overpower you, and if it doesn't lead to you becoming sort of angry, frustrated, and maybe just too much in a rush to get things done. What we're learning from this time that we're going through now. Hello, Earth to Annabelle. Kyra joined! Yay! Kyra, now you have to tell me to... Yes, I'm calling Kyra. Okay. View. Go live. Waiting for Kyra. She's coming on, everyone. Yay! I'm so happy because I really was so excited about Kyra that I hadn't even thought it. Yay! Hello. So nice to see you. How's your connection, love?
You too.
How's your connection?
So far, so good. Let's find out. Sorry, I'm late. Time changes and... Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I'll talk slowly. Kyra, I was telling everybody about you for some time, and what I want to ask you now, so people can learn a bit more about it, what I want this session to be is so people really understand what it is to bring passion and purpose to life. And you are a really good example of that. So where did your journey start, and how did it lead you to where you are?
Wow, that's a very big question. First, can I say how lovely it is to see you? I wish I could give you a big squeeze.
You too. I feel it.
Where did my journey start? When I was born. My journey started, I think, when I was very small, growing up in the Dominican Republic, in a very sort of natural environment, coconut trees and always outside, and just always in nature. So that's probably where it really deeply started, was that deep connection with nature and just always wanting to be with the trees and running around and enjoying life, I guess. So passion for life was just always there. And then it came around full circle when I was old enough to make decisions for myself, so to speak, and had studied holistic medicine and naturopathic medicine and ayurvedic medicine and yoga, and needed a place where I could put it all together. And the Dominican was just the perfect place because of the climate, because we have such an abundance of plants. I mean, I don't know if any of you know that the Dominican is actually, after India, the third country in the world where you can grow almost all the Ayurvedic herbs. So
yeah, I didn't know that.
Everything just sort of fell into place. And so we came back to the Dominican to set up a holistic community, retreat center, hotel, home. It's kind of everything all in one.
But Kyra, what you've set up is not really... it's kind of not in your family to have set up a yoga retreat, right? I mean, you grew up in a very...
Not at all.
Yeah. So how did your family take to this, you wanting to do this?
Well, they were very supportive of wanting to study naturopathic medicine. They were very supportive of my passion for this different thing that was, you know, she wants to do one of her things again, but it's so great and she loves it and it's medicine and it's healing. So that was all very supportive. Yoga was a bit kind of, oh, you just like that yoga thing that people like and whatever. What I think they were most sort of upset about was that they're now back in England, and we were so evidently going to be quite a long way away from England, and with no plans to come back. Well, I say come back, I mean, for me, it was coming back to the Dominican. England was just kind of a stop in the middle, but both my parents are English. My mom is very English, and she wanted us to be closer. I have 5 kids. She wanted to be near her grandkids. She wanted to be near us, and we were very firmly, even though at times it looked like we may not make it out here, because we had to really struggle to make it work, and struggle in the best sense, but struggle. And I think my mum was kind of hopeful that it would all fall apart, so we would have to come back. Understandably, I mean, I'm a mother and I would want my kids to be close too, so I get it.
Kyra, in those moments of struggle, because a lot of people are feeling that struggle now in a different way, in those moments of struggle, what was your mantra? What kept you going?
Just a real belief that this is what I believe in. This is what we wanted to do this. We believed that there was another way to live, not the best way, not the right way, just another way. And it's a journey of discovery. We're still discovering, we're still learning. Every day we still have conversations about, what's sustainable, how can we be more balanced in what we do, what's, just 20 minutes ago we were having a deep conversation about consciousness and Ayurveda and, you know, the reality of life and everything that's going on in the world right now, and
How
the
does that feel
process
to
that
you?
humanity is going through. Well,
Yeah,
how does
what do you
feel
think
to
of
you?
this process? What do you think of this process and how people can kind of make sense of it and be at peace with it? And
Yeah.
what are good
Well,
tools to you?
you know, it's a very good question, and I think it would be unfair for me to answer it from my perspective, because my perspective, first of all, I'm in paradise. I'm living
You
next
are
to
in
the ocean.
paradise.
You know, I'm
Yes.
living in the middle of nowhere, so I live isolated anyway. So my life
Yes.
hasn't really changed that much, other than
But
I
you
just
have
don't
a
go out to teach.
community. But you have these glorious children and a wonderful
Yes, I
husband.
have a community. I have 9 family
Yes.
around me right now, so I'm certainly not alone. I have, you know, lots of animals and lots of plants, and you know, I mean, we are as busy as we ever are, just in a slightly more internalized way.
Yes.
But in a bigger picture sense of things, which I can imagine it's very hard if you're in an apartment in a city and you haven't been able to get out for 2 months. I would be just going crazy. So I completely I have such compassion for everyone who's going through that, and for all the people who are suffering, for everybody who's sick. It's not so much that, it's just from a bigger picture, it is a process that humanity is going through, and to fight against it in terms of inside of ourselves will just create more suffering. You know, it's just, we have to just move through it. What's going to happen? How's it going to be? I don't know. I've stayed away from the news. I've stayed, you know, I've kept in touch with people, and the most important things we get the information for here. And I think that as hard as it is really to, it is, what is happening. We can't stop that. What can we do? How can we be the change? You know, if we don't like our lives the way they are, what are we going to do about that, both now and when we are allowed out, when quarantine is over, when things change, when we come out? The other side of this is maybe not the right thing to say, but, you know, as this process moves through us and we move through it, how are we going to behave when we come out of it? Because I think that's what's the important question right now. And because we are incarcerated, let's say, most of us, and we have plenty of internal time, yes, clean house, yes, put your books in rainbow colors, which I think is all wonderful things that people are doing, but, you know, are you taking time to just sit and turn inwards, to be in silence, to reflect, to let the pain of all of this occurrence rise up in you? Because I know that even though I'm sitting here in paradise and every day I go, wow, at this moment in time, I would consider myself of the 5% elite in the world who is literally living this whole process in heaven. I'm still taking 3 days of silence and fasting and going inside and allowing the sort of humanity's trauma and the planet's trauma and the pain of what's going on worldwide for all of us as a conglomerate to rise up, and seeing that there's a lot of turbulence, a lot of tears, a lot of frustration at feeling, well, what can I do? How can I be of more service to those around me, to the world, to the planet, to our mother, our home, our you know, our home, and we treat her with such disrespect. It's deeply painful, and
Rachel's agreeing with you, and I think we agree. We need to feel the pain.
Also,
we've been numbing it for too long.
Exactly.
You know, we run,
and it's very easy to numb it. You know, it's very easy to numb it, and I totally get it. I understand it.
And I think,
but as
Kyra,
humanity,
Instagram makes it very easy to numb it too, because
well,
you know, when we're,
you
know, it's a dichotomy, isn't it? Because we're able to communicate with each other, but it can mean that you just don't have to deal, because look, you can just press a button and, you know,
we just distract. It's just a distraction.
So how, Kyra, how would you recommend, if somebody's sitting in the city in their little apartment, going in and feeling the pain, practically, how would you do that then? What would be the process to prepare?
Well, I would find a nice little corner of my apartment, or a nice place that's comfortable. Find a comfortable way to sit. Maybe it's on a chair, maybe it's on a bed, maybe it's on a cushion, maybe it's on the carpet, maybe, you know, whatever. Maybe it's standing. Light a candle, or look at a flower or find something that's just gentle and beautiful and natural in some way. And I say light a candle because not everyone has flowers in their home or even near their apartment. So, you know, just bring into your space, into your thought process, into your mind, into your heart, a tree, nature, a flower, something that inspires you from the outside, from, you know, Mother Nature, and connect. Forget about, you know, a yoga practice, or even, you know, if you don't have a practice, it's fine. So many of my folks, you know, well, we want you to come and teach. And it's like, well, I can't. My internet doesn't work. It's just not happening. But just sit down, take a deep breath, and then just take another deep breath. And then just take another deep breath. And don't worry about what you should be doing. Or just connect with yourself, with things. And yes, it's painful, but it's not always painful. Sometimes love will arise. Sometimes joy will arise. Sometimes it's like, oh, God. It's like getting into a hot bath in the middle of winter. It's just really nice. Sometimes it's just nice to sit down, be still, take a deep breath, and not have to do anything at all, but just be.
And if the pain does arise and you can feel it and it's an uncomfortable feeling, then what? Breathe into it?
Well, yeah, why fight it? Why? The problem is we think that there's something wrong with this pain. And I'm not talking about the pain of a broken arm or the pain of an appendix or something. I'm talking about just this mental suffering that we have, that we don't like it the way it is. But there's a reality, which is it is the way it is. So the pain is more of the resistance of not liking what is. So I think it's more about, as that discomfort, let's call it, starts to arise, just feel it. Just breathe into it. Just relax. Just let it come up. Why do we all, I mean, I say why we do because it's painful, because we don't like the displeasure of discomfort. But if we are able to just allow it to rise up, to let that bubble of energy or that, and just look at it. Well, why am I uncomfortable? Why does it? Because I don't like it, because it doesn't feel right to me, because it's frustrating. And then you can begin to sort of see that we all have a reason why. It's not like we're just in resistance. We're in resistance because ultimately it's this separation from nature, and we, at some level, we probably feel like we could do more. Or so it's a way of tapping into our own discomfort, and a way of also allowing these layers, these samskaras that we hold down. So samskaras are like these deep wounds through habitual covering, you know. So I don't like something, or somebody hurts me when I'm very small, and every time anything has anything to do with that, whether it's a word or a tree that I was looking at the time that happened, that samskara that wound gets deeper, and they call these samskaras. So every time our samskaras are touched in any way, then up come these discomforts, up comes this energy, up comes this, and we push it down, or we push it away, or we deny it, or what can I, you know, and in some ways, you know, just talking about this, how in the Eastern tradition, there's a lot of talk about nothingness and emptiness, but sometimes that's distracting. Sometimes that is actually a distraction from just feeling what is there and allowing what is there, instead of just allowing it to come up, bubble up, and release. As it does, just one layer of it, but each time you allow it to bubble up and release, it's one more layer, one more layer, one more layer. We just push it away. No, that's not there. I'm not feeling that. I'm abundant. I'm happy. I'm joyful. And the truth is, I'm actually really sad right now, and I'm suffering, and I'm feeling helpless, because I don't know how I can do something to help all those poor people who are suffering, or help the world, or help myself, or help my family, or, you know, my children don't understand the situation that the world is in. And just let it come up. Feel it. And as you do, maybe some deeper wisdom, some deeper intuition, some deeper energy allows for a sense of peace, a sense of just surrendering to, I can't do everything, I can't be everyone, I can't change the world, but I can change myself. And how can I do that? By just sitting and being, and being okay with all this uncomfortable stuff that we don't usually want to deal with. Sometimes, not all the time, but, you know, 5 minutes a day, really 5 minutes a day it is enough to start with anyway. You know, people, I have to sit for an hour, half an hour, my legs get numb. Forget it. Just sit for 5 minutes. Sit for 20 deep breaths. If you don't want to think about what's coming up, think about your deep inhaling down into your belly, deep exhaling, and just letting go as you do. Inhale, take it in, exhale, take it out. I mean, there's a wonderful meditation practice, which is actually the reverse of that, which is all about compassion. It's a Karuna meditation. So in Sanskrit, Karuna means compassion. It's called Tonglen because it was actually introduced, anyway, long story, but it was introduced in Tibet, and it's Tibetan. I'm going to now. So it's the reverse of what I was just saying. As you
everybody join in, Kyra? Can everybody join in and you show us how to do it?
Sure.
Yeah, great.
So you just sit quietly, sit comfortably. You can keep your eyes open if you want, or close your eyes.
I'm going to close my eyes to really feel it.
And as you inhale, just start by feeling suffering. Feel the pain. Feel whatever discomfort you can imagine right now as you inhale. And as you exhale, just allow yourself to exhale whatever might. And exhale, release whatever.
Kyra, you're disappearing sometimes now.
Peace and harmony. We exhale,
okay, you're back.
Letting go. Okay, so on this one, we're inhaling suffering and exhale the healing. Inhale suffering, exhale. And as you inhale it. Feel it in your body, feel it in your cells. Let yourself just feel the suffering. And as you exhale, begin to release whatever might begin to heal that discomfort, that pain, that sadness, that suffering. So you inhale. Let yourself feel it. Let your heart begin to squeeze and contract and your body begin to not like what's going on. And then exhale, just begin to heal, to release, to give tenderness, to give compassion, to give kindness, to give whatever to. And then as you continue with this meditation, you begin to bring in others. So whatever is causing you suffering right now, imagine that you're doing this practice for everyone else on the planet who's feeling that same suffering. So if I'm feeling that I'm not good enough, as I inhale, I feel not good enough for me and everyone else on the planet who has that feeling. And as I exhale, you're enough, you're perfect, you're healed, you're light, you're wonderful, you're loved, etc. And I inhale, you're not good enough, and nor is anyone else who's feeling the sensation. And I exhale, we're all good enough, we're all perfect, we're all unique, we're all individuals, we're all collaborating in this grand story together. And you can take that out into the suffering for the whole planet. So it's a beautiful, beautiful meditation for using when people or yourself are suffering. And you can do it formally, like we're doing now, sitting, closing our eyes and concentrating. But as much as if you see someone in the street suffering, you can walk up to them. And as you just be with them, inhale their suffering and exhale healing. And so you become a conduit, literally a conduit in that moment for some form of healing. And if you just allow yourself to be the conduit without taking any responsibility of being the healer, you just, I want to take on some of your suffering, and I want to allow you to receive healing just through this breath that I'm breathing in and out now. It's so beautiful. And if you practice it, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, not a lot. It doesn't have to be these, people have these ideas that everything has to be half an hour and an hour. Many people just haven't got the discipline or haven't got they just haven't got it. So why not a minute, 2 minutes? And if you do it every day or regularly, you will find that your compassion starts to grow immeasurably. Suddenly you have more compassion, more kindness, more openness.
Thank you,
and you can use it in any moment when you're not feeling good or when someone else around you isn't feeling good. Just with one breath. Someone isn't feeling good, you take in their suffering, their pain, their anger, their resentment, and you exhale peace, calm, resolve, intuition, whatever they might need in that moment.
I've never heard it said to take it in.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's so powerful. Tonglen, it's called. The Tonglen.
Right.
It's called taking and giving. Taking and giving.
Yeah, because you're not storing it, you're fully accepting
no.
it and then releasing it.
You're just literally taking it in and then transmuting it into. Taking it in, transmuting it into.
And another thing you like to do, Kyra, is the mandalas, the colouring of the mandalas. Yeah. And again, if people are at home, is that something you would recommend now to just colour? Or is it the specific mandalas?
Well, the mandala in itself is sacred geometry. It is a meditation. I mean, if you can use it
just cut out a bit.
What I was saying is that with the mandalas, what happens is they can take a long time, especially if they're intricate ones, and people lose it halfway through and they don't walk away. If you want to use it as a meditation, that is part of the process. So you start and you finish it.
Okay.
There are so many, I mean, it's wonderful. I mean, sacred geometry in itself is a meditation. It's like the micro within the macro, the microcosmos within the macrocosmos. So it's actually a way of looking at yourself within the bigger picture. Through geometric shapes and designs. Kind of allow yourself to sort of go into it and then begin. And some people say you should begin from the center, others from the outside. That's up to you. It is a meditation, and it will take you in if you just allow yourself to be absorbed into it and allow all the feelings that come with it, the frustration. Oh, I just want to go and do something else now. All that kind of normal stuff, which is just like in a meditation. Okay, I'm bored now. I want to go and do the next thing. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. And you will create, or you will help to create more peace for yourself, more patience, more calm sort of feelings and sensations. And it's very, very therapeutic, actually.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it when we did it at your place. Really enjoyed it, and felt no rush to go anywhere. I didn't want to leave your place ever, and you are absolutely in paradise. And with your naturopathy, how do I say that? Naturopathy.
Yeah, naturopathy. Yeah,
that's the one. Is there anything you can recommend for people now that they can make in their own homes that would be quite helpful if they're feeling anxious or unable to sleep, or moving too far into the future? Is there any concoction you could make?
Yes, I mean, there are many, but I mean, it depends on the individual. As you know from Ayurveda, constitution is everything, or is a huge part of it. It's an individual, but that if you are finding it difficult sleeping and you don't have any herbs in your house, and many people don't, if you have oats, you can eat a bowl of oats with some warm almond milk or soy milk or cow milk before you go to bed. That actually helps to calm the nervous system. If you do have herbs, you can use things like passiflora. I mean, you guys are most probably in England, so we would use different herbs here because we're in the tropics. But,
yes.
I'm trying to think of sort of general things, and avena sativa oats is a very nice way to calm the nervous system before sleep. Doesn't have to be a huge bowl, just a small bowl. If you're feeling anxious, I would say deep breathing, pranayama, deep breathing exercises. Even if you don't know how to do any particular exercises, just inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose.
Yes.
And as you inhale, try to feel your belly expanding upwards. So you're breathing as deep down into the lungs using your diaphragm. And through using the diaphragm, you actually begin to calm the solar plexus, which is the nerve center right in the middle of the diaphragm. So you're helping to calm your nervous system. Just the act of deep breathing in itself helps to calm your heart rate, relax your nervous system. If you're feeling very anxious or stressed, then double. So the exhalation will be double as long as the inhalation. So you might inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 8. So you're strengthening your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the part of the nervous system which is calming. What you don't want to be doing is focusing more on the inhale and less on the exhale, because that actually activates the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight. So you want to be having nice, long, deep exhales. If you can breathe through the nose, it's always better. But if you're clogged up or not, then breathe through the mouth.
And Kyra, when you going back to your passion for a minute, then when you arrived there was literally nothing there. When you arrived at this paradise, there was nothing there, right? It was just rubble, pretty much rubble.
Yeah, I'm sitting, actually, I mean, I can see if I can show you a little bit. I don't know if you can see, it's very sunny, but, there it is now. It was all just bush. I mean, semi-arid bush, but bush when we arrived here. So
you built that thatch roof, you built everything, I know that.
Yes, the thatch roof, we built everything.
Did you, and you built that roof, I remember you telling me, according to the moon cycles, right?
The whole thing is built with the moon cycles, with earth cycles, sun cycles. I mean, we get it wrong. It's not like it's perfectly done, but we have
Tell
worked with
me,
energy, ley lines, moon cycles, mainly moon cycles. But we
can
bring
you
in
tell us
as many
about the moon
cycles as we can.
cycles? Can you tell us about the moon cycles and how, again, people can be mindful of that now, and what, you know, because often, you know, women will particularly say, yeah, I'm feeling a bit, you know, crazy. Oh, it must be the moon. Explain how they can kind of become more aware and what tends to happen during the cycles.
Okay. Well, again, there's lots of aspects to it, but we are human beings. We are 75% water. The moon moves the tides, as we all know. So it would be sort of almost a little ignorant to think that the moon didn't have some effect on our own bodies because of our own, if we're 75% water and we are saline water, salty water like the sea.
Yes.
So the moon has an influence on all of our bodies, male and female alike. And then each month the moon goes through all the different signs of the zodiac. So usually for 2 to 3 days, the new moon will always fall on the month of the zodiac that it's in. So for example, now we are in, what are we in now? To think.
What are we in now? What day of the week it is?
What day is it? What month is it?
I don't know what's going on.
We're in April.
My God, we're nearly in May. I can't believe we're in May.
Yes, we're nearly in May. We're in Taurus, and the new moon fell in Taurus. The full moon will fall on the opposite side. But so, for example, Taurus governs the neck, the throat. So often on Taurus days, which is an Earth day, Taurus is related to Earth. We might feel a little more tenderness in the throat, or if there's something we need to communicate to do with the throat chakra, we might feel, you know, a slight discomfort in the throat area or the neck. If you tend to have neck issues, they'll probably be worse on a Taurus day moving into Gemini. So that's a physical aspect of it. It's an Earth day, so it's not the best day for washing your hair. You're better off to wash your hair on an air day or a fire day. Otherwise, you might end up with a bad hair day. But, you know, that's more of a beauty aspect.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just so many aspects to it. It's not the best day. It's a good day for planting root vegetables, for example, but it's not a good day for planting flowers. But then there's also the aspects of the waning moon and the waxing moon. So we've literally just planted 100 trees over the last 3 days because now is a really good time for grafting and transplanting and repotting, not just the signs of the zodiac, but actually because it's a waxing moon. So because the energy is going up, when you unroot a tree, first of all, you have to tell it, or you have to give it some warning so that it can take in its energy, because they are living beings also. And so then when you uproot it, it takes its roots with it, and all its energy is in the sap of the tree. And so if you do that when the moon is waxing, everything's already moving upwards. So it has it's an easier energetic flow. And then you plant them, and then when the moon is full, then the energy will start moving downwards again and back into the roots, and then they'll take root and they'll grow. So I mean, that's how we plant with regards to the moon. And then in terms of building, it's similar. You know, you pour concrete on some days, you clean windows on some days, you install wood on some days, depending on.
So did you have a big plan? Did you have a plan that said, you know, in 10 years, our ecosystem is going to look like this? Or was it just... No.
No, I mean, we sort of wanted to, but because we've done the whole thing literally on a budget, what we have, when we have some money, we build something. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's as simple as that. So we kind of would like to have had a master plan. We sort of did have a master plan. We certainly had a vision, but the reality was we didn't have any money, and we just had to make do with what we had. So our house is a combination of wood structures, concrete structures, stone structures, thatch structures. We have Indian Raj tents for some of our rooms. We have wooden cabins for some of our rooms. We have thatch, kind of more like that, for some of our rooms. And then we have cement. For the more luxurious rooms are all built with block and cement and have like very thick walls, so they're very cool, and they all have cross ventilation. But we had to just do it one by one, and kind of hoping, okay, well, we've got some money, right? What can we do? We can do this. Where should we do it? And then find the right place.
And you're enjoying the ride, right? Bittu, you can come home now if you want to, darling. Bittu's saying gorgeous. And I said to him, you should stay away till after we finish, but come home, darling. I miss you. Yeah, so
well,
you're
see,
enjoying the ride, are you?
oh yeah, I mean, you know, I'm not going to say for a moment that it's all rosy or that it's all, I mean, I have 5 children, so it's not just me and Simon on this ride. We have 5 growing people who are living in the modern world, not our kind of, as
Yes,
they would call it, crazy ass yogi world. So there's,
yes.
you know, a fair bit of conflict within it, because they want something that we believe we're providing a sort of long-term healthy raising for them, which we are. We're not so isolated, but you know, we are half an hour from the modern world, and just over the river are all their friends with all their technologies. We don't even have a television, so they're, you know, they have their
Wow.
telephones and they live by that, but it's frustrating for
Yeah.
them. So
Oh, I miss it when Kyra disappears.
is indeed our dream. They at some level chose to share it
Yeah,
with us, and I'm
yeah.
sure they will appreciate it one day. But right now, well, not right now, but generally speaking,
I'm
they,
sure they will.
you know, they want to live in an apartment in
But
town with.
when you were following your dream, were there moments of absolute doubt that we're just trying to escape something? You know, because often we want to go and do something
Um,
else because we don't want to do what we're doing.
yeah.
Doesn't mean we really want to do something else, you know? Was there
Well,
any doubt
no,
or no?
there was never. There was plenty of doubt, but it wasn't in terms of
Yeah,
really. I mean, yeah, I had other jobs when I lived in cities and stuff, but this was what I was always going to do, want to do. The doubt was,
oh, look who's here. Yeah,
dealing with, you know, we had our fridge was an ice box with, you know, ice in it that would melt every day, and we'd have to go get new ice. And the smell of rotten butter when you're 8 months pregnant, at least for me, one day just had me in floods of tears, going, I just can't do this anymore. I just can't. And meanwhile, you're, you know, giving 8 massages a day, and whatever it was and has been, and I don't regret a single moment of it. Even in the moments of we were ready to quit, we would look at each other and go, but where are we going to go? What are we going to do? Go to England and do what? We don't have any, you know, everything we've invested our entire, well, ever really, into this. And 12 years down the road, it's now, you know, we started with a wooden house with a tin roof, and now we've got 12 guest bedrooms, and, you know, all, you've seen it. I mean,
yeah.
and we have more bedrooms since you were here last time, which now
Wow.
we're sort of reconsidering what are we going to do, you know,
Yeah.
and back to nature. And I'm going back to the permaculture garden, and I've just planted all the trees, and we're literally going to grow a whole new garden. We are growing a whole new garden as a,
Wow. So do you actually have people staying at the moment? Are there people staying who are staying longer term?
pay them because we've had no income.
Yeah, she is
And
so
no, I
beautiful.
mean, our country's also in lockdown and the gates are closed,
Right.
and our local, you know, and the people aren't allowed. I mean, they're allowed to go out of their houses, but they have to be home between 5 p.m. and 6 a.m. So no one's going on holiday per se. So
Yeah.
even our local clients are, you know, not coming to stay. So we're closed now until
Right.
November. We took that decision
Okay.
early on, that we decided that we needed to take a sigh. We needed to work on ourselves a little bit. And
Yeah.
although, and we kind of go, well, and everyone's like, well, how are you going to survive? And we go, listen, we survived for 3 years with no money and no water. We'll do it again for 6 months. It's not a problem. The kids are livid and furious. But then when I explained to them that by building the permaculture garden, we will have produce to sell, and they love the idea of a shop. I'm like, and at the end of it, you'll have a shop and you can sell, you know, you can
Oh,
make
I love
t-shirts
that.
and
Yeah.
candles and soaps, and you can sell them in the shop. Well, we're going to sell the food that we already sell and the food that we're growing. And so it's kind of actually opening up another branch of the what I call the Ashtanga yoga, that all the different limbs of this project. A holistic project has so many different
That's a
aspects to
really,
it.
yeah,
It's just another one.
that's a
So it's
brilliant
actually
idea.
giving us some time
Yeah,
and some space.
and Kyra, you can sell that. You
Yeah.
can sell that merchandise not just in your resort, but you know, you can sell it online, and it will be wonderful for people to get a taste of what you have to offer. But I would say to anybody listening, please go to Wellbeing Escapes. And I cannot, when Kyra opens up, I cannot recommend anywhere more. I mean, it's just, it's life-changing. It really is, because to be that close to the ocean and that close to that verdant land and that close to Kyra and the family, and the children will offer you cookies if you're lucky. It's just a very abundant experience. It really is. And yeah, can't recommend it enough. And yeah, and having a local shop will be amazing. And you know, your knowledge and your wisdom is, I know it comes from the heart, and all you want to do is share it. And we're very lucky for that. Very, very lucky for that. So at the moment, you've given us the breathing and the herbs that we can take. Is there something from yoga that you can share with us? Because yoga is something that you're so brilliant with. Is there some aspect of yoga that you can share with us, a lesson, or not necessarily showing us how to do something, but more the being?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, you said I gave some herbs. I didn't really. I felt like I sort of dropped you a bit short on that one, because there are so many, and there are so many different people and types. And I did talk about the breathing, the pranayama, which is, for me, the you know,
Yes,
yoga.
yes.
What is yoga? Yoga is life. It's everything. It's union, one with all,
Yeah.
one with each other, one with nature, whatever. So for me, yoga really is just the way you live. Yes, we have the physical posture practices, which are wonderful and very healing. And as you know, I love to talk about the healing benefits of every single one of them and how it can help. Prana, life force, what the air that we breathe, for want of a better word, you know, we cannot live without it. We can actually live without. You know, we can live without food and water. We cannot live without breathing. Why? Because that is actually what nourishes us. It's what gives us the life force that we as all beings on this planet need. And a few deep breaths, as I talked about before, through the nose, inhaling deep down into your belly, and exhaling again through the nose, just nice and slow, nice and relaxed, no forcing, has more power and healing benefit than anything else. There's a whole science of breath. I'm not even touching the surface. But I think, as anyone who has practiced any kind of deep breathing, frustration, resentment, and it doesn't, you don't need a teacher, you don't need guidance, you just need to literally sit down or lie down and take a deep breath. And from the sort of practice of yoga, of which there's, you know, mantra yoga and bhakti yoga and karma yoga and kriya yoga, and all of them are wonderful, and I practice them all and would love to, you know, give you all that information. But everyone has different interests and different requirements, but everyone needs to breathe.
Yeah.
So how can you
Such a
right
simple
now,
thing.
or in 5 minutes time, or in 5 hours time, just connect with yourself, connect with, you know, in one inhale, and I'm going to scientifically get this wrong, so please don't quote me on this, but you take in however many trillion cells, molecules, atoms, whatever, right? Those molecules and atoms have been breathed by other beings all over the planet. So every single time you inhale, you are literally taking in prana that has been breathed by your brothers and sisters, animals, plants, rocks, people, in every continent, in every country, in one breath, one inhale. And
We're
you've
all
just
the
connected
same.
with,
We're all connected.
we're all connected.
We've
We
only
are
got 20
all
seconds
one.
left. We are all one. We are all one.
So
Yeah, we
breathe.
can't
We're all
deny
one,
it.
and
We
that's
can't
it.
deny
And that's
it.
all that
Kyra,
matters,
we,
you know?
Instagram doesn't give us any longer, so we've only got 16 seconds left, and you are just amazing. We have to get you back again. And what we'll do next time is we'll focus on a specific topic and really